Hey guys, what's up? My name is T-Space, and welcome back to another episode of Viewers Insight, where you, the viewers, tell me your favorite Battlefield 3 setups, and I test them out. So today's episode is going to be brought to you by Zero T, and he wants me to use the KH2002, Heavy Barrel, Foregrip, and Cobra Sight. To aid him with this setup, he wants me to also use the 93R as my secondary pistol, and he wants me to use the Medic Pack and defibs. So let's get right into the pros and cons of this setup. So first off, the pros is pretty much basically around the KH2002 and the M93R, but all the other ones are kind of factored in. So the KH2002 is extremely accurate if you haven't tried it out. It is one of the most accurate guns in the game. Given that it is a burst fire weapon, it is extremely accurate. Now also the attachments that Zero T actually gave me to use pretty much aid in the gun's accuracy. It pretty much just boosts the accuracy of the gun. So basically the foregrip allows you to control your shots a little more from side to side. Also, it helps you with your hip firing, which is amazing on this gun, by the way. The KH2002 has an amazing hip fire, and adding the foregrip to it pretty much just, makes it even better at hip firing. Also, the heavy barrel allows you to, of course, shoot for longer range targets, and when you shoot for longer range targets with this gun, it almost feels like an automatic sniper. Like I said in the first episode of Viewers Insight, the AN was like an automatic sniper rifle. You could pretty much apply that to the KH2002. I was sniping a lot of people far range on rooftops and all like that for TDM Karg, and it was quite easy because, for one, they weren't moving, and two, the gun was extremely accurate, and I could control it really well. Also, this gun is one of those perfect 6-shot guns. Since it is a burst fire weapon, you could pretty much just 2 burst them. So basically each burst shoots a maximum of 3 bullets before you have to click your mouse to shoot another burst. So basically having a 6 burst is one of those perfect kind of guns, because if you do the math correctly, every assault rifle does a minimum of 18.4, and timesing that by 6 is way more than 100% damage or 100% health. So pretty much you only need 6 shots with all the assault rifles to kill someone, and this gun is pretty much one of those perfect 6-shot weapons. It's easy to do, and it feels so rewarding when you actually get it done. You just 2 burst in, like, yep, I just killed him with 6 shots. It was pretty awesome. Another thing that I like about the KH2002 is that it reminds me of the BR back in Halo 3. Now, I didn't actually play Halo 3 when it was really big, but I did watch it a lot. I used to watch Halo 3 competitions on MLG, and it was probably one of the most exciting things that I've ever seen. And watching people like master the BR or the battle rifle in that game was so fun to watch. It was amazing how well they took down a target with 4 shots just instantly. Their accuracy with the controller was just amazing, and it was just unheard of at the time, it seemed. I mean, with other FPS games at the time, using a controller was kind of not as accurate as using a keyboard and mouse. But in Halo, it worked. So this gun really reminds me of that BR from Halo, and therefore it makes me want to get better at it. So I have more of an incentive to get better with it, and therefore I did get a little bit better with it. Another thing that adds to the awesomeness of the KH2002 is that it's a bullpup, and that means you just reload your clip towards the back end of the gun, and allows you to move a little faster. So when you're ADSing or aim down scope, you can move pretty much at full speed when you're strafing side to side when you're aiming down scope. With other guns that aren't bullpups, you don't get this luxury. You'll pretty much move a lot slower when you are ADSing compared to a bullpup weapon, and that's what I like about the KH2002. Since it's a bullpup, you can move around a lot more, you can strafe while you're ADSing, and you become a harder target to hit, and you can also be extremely accurate at the same time because you're, of course, ADSing. Now, going on to the secondary, or the pistol, which is the 93R, well, I really don't know what to say other than this gun is amazing. I mean, close range, it is unbeatable almost. I mean, it's pretty much like a pocket FAMAS that, just rapes anyone's face. I mean, coming across a person that has an M93R, it's pretty hard to kill them unless they are extremely bad with hip firing, or they just do not know how to control the recoil of the M93R, which isn't really that much in my opinion. But overall, this pistol is pretty good, and sometimes it's a little too good. So that pretty much wraps up the pros for this setup. Now moving on to the cons. I really couldn't think of any cons other than the 93R is a little too easy. Knowing me, I really don't like to play classes that are extremely easy, and the reason why is because they get boring fast, and I just don't like that. I like to challenge myself and improve my gameplay every time I play. So using the 93R was fun, but it's a little too easy, and it makes the games a lot easier, because like, oh no, you could, or for an example, you could be like, oh no, I ran out of bullets in my main. Oh well, let me just pull up my 93R. Hey look, I win again. I mean, that's pretty much what the gun does. It wins you fights. It pretty much wins you fights. Now, my final thoughts on this gun is, or this setup is, I personally love this setup. Tell you the truth, back when I wanted to become a really hardcore comp player and be like, you know, one of the top players in Battlefield 3, the KH-2002 was my go-to gun. I love this gun to death, and I wanted to make an impression in the competition scene and tell everyone saying that the KH-2002 is the gun to go with. And I could just picture that everyone would be using the KH-2002, and it'd be like the most amazing thing ever. It would bring me back to the, you know, the Halo days when I watched it on competitions where people would use a burst fire weapon and they would own with it. So I wanted to, you know, see if that would happen in Battlefield 3, but of course it didn't. So the reason why I actually kind of stopped using it for a while was because back in comp I heard that there is a possible nerf for this gun. So I dropped it because I didn't want to use a gun that was going to be nerfed, and I picked up another gun. A couple months later, after the patches dropped, what do you know? It didn't get nerfed, and I was a little upset, but for some reason I didn't go back to it. I don't know why I didn't. It just never occurred to me that I needed to go back to it until now, when Zero-T actually suggested this setup for me, and I am falling in love with this gun all over again. They haven't changed it too much, other than the attachments are a little different, but all in all, this gun is still amazing to me. I love this gun. Now, when you are using this setup, keep in mind that it is a burst fire weapon, so you're going to have to slow down your shots. You don't want to spam it too much because each burst fire weapon has a specific rhythm. And if you go off of that rhythm, you'll either shoot too slow with the gun or you'll shoot too fast and make the gun jam. So you got to keep that in mind. Find the rhythm with this gun, and I guarantee you will be so much happier, and you'll say, wow, this gun is amazing. I'm going to use it from now on. Now, moving on to the M93R. Well, I don't really know what to say about this gun. I mean, this gun is good, like I said before, so you really don't have to worry about, you know, running out of your main gun and switching to a pistol like, oh crap, I got a pistol, because this gun is a freaking hand cannon with like 21 bullets, and oh god, it's amazing. But it's going to get nerfed, so I don't know what it's going to be like in the future, so we'll have to see. And last but not least, my final thoughts on this setup is the hipfire. The hipfire with both the 93R and the KH-2002 are both amazing. They're just awesome. I love it when I get into close range combats. I'm like, oh god, I have a burst weapon, and then I remind myself, hey look, it's the KH-2002. I have hipfire. So I just love that fact, and also with the 93R, hip firing with that gun pretty much close range is just, it's easy. It's amazingly easy, and it pretty much saves you from a bunch of different fights that you probably would have lost in if you were using, let's say, a Magnum or an M9 or a MP443. But that pretty much wraps up the second episode of Viewers Insight. Now, if you want to be featured for the next episode of Viewers Insight, please leave me a comment down below. Tell me your favorite setups, and whichever one gets thumbs up the most, I will feature for the next episode. So, once again, give me a like or dislike so I know for sure. If you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And my name is T-Space, and I will catch you guys later.